Peace, Zahir on the mic, and we are here with the episode of the full moon segment. So on this channel, you'll see a few different things, but what you will see for sure, especially monthly, is a full moon segment, and we're gonna start doing some things weekly as well. But for the initiation to this segment of the channel, Zodiac Zahir, the Zodiac Zahir segment, we're going to start with full moon reading. So, I get on here when I can, but I've had something recently that have made me commit fully. So you'll definitely see, if not a lot of videos, but a lot of astrology videos specifically, because I feel more comfortable in that realm than most other realms. But anyway, let's get right into this full moon in Leo at 5 degrees. So we're looking at the moon and what a full moon is. The full moon is, if you don't know, it's the opposite. It's the moon being on the opposite 180 degrees away from the sun, allowing that full reflection of the sun. So the sun is looking at the moon, and it's got all of its light on the moon. Therefore, you see that moon full. And when the moon is, up against the sun, there's no moon. There's a new moon. So you don't see the moon because it's conjunct the sun. All right. So that being in Leo, that it's full in the sign of Leo, in the sign of the soul, and the sign of children, and the sign of something that is near and dear to you, something that is familiar to you. And it's happening in this axis of Leo, but then we can't forget Aquarius as well. We can't forget Aquarius because that's where the moon is actually at. So the moon is actually in Leo, but we can't forget Aquarius because the sun is in Aquarius. And that adds this whole teeter-totter of energy. You cannot leave out the energy of Aquarius when we're talking about this full moon. And this axis represents something that is familiar, which is Leo, and unfamiliar, which is Aquarius. So I wrote down a few words that kind of just that came to me when I was thinking of this, and I got future, which is Aquarius, present, Leo, unique, which is Aquarius, old-fashioned, which is Leo, and then friends, Aquarius, children, Leo. So in these oppositions, we can see how there's a tug on one or the other. And this unfamiliarity in Aquarius, you're gonna see more of that being that popping out, the unfamiliar side of things, which is a lot of life right now when it comes to things changing. We haven't seen the technology in this way for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, but things are happening, and it's hard to get a grasp. Things are happening outside of the concept that our mind can conceive it. And that's what another thing that Aquarius represents, is the mind-blowing ideas that you can't even conceive of, ideas that are so big for your mind that you can't really calculate. So you'll see that when we're talking about quantum and all of these things. And then the opposite of that is where this moon is taking place, which is the familiar. It's the familiar feel of your body. If you've ever been outside of your body and then you come back in, you feel like, oh shit, I'm back. Okay, cool. Like the familiarity of home. Remember that 5th house is right next to the 4th. So once the 4th house, the house is established, then that's when the children, or that's when the feeling of home can take place. Then that's when you create, the house is there in the 4th house, but then the 5th house, you come and you create a home with your family. And that's the feeling, the familiar feeling of family is what we're honing in on. That closeness of family in the 5th house is being challenged here. This is something that full moon is showing you where you need to, okay, now this is, you're full of it. So now going back into the new moon, you're going to be emptying out. This is where I would like to say a lot of lessons take place when it comes to full moon ideas. The seed is planted in a new moon, and you get to see what that seed is doing in the full moon, and then you make your critiques in the full moon, and then you come back down back into the new moon. So it's the ebb and flow, and the new moon is showing you in your ninth, not your ninth house, in your house of Leo, which that can be in different places for the individual, but for the collective, it's that familiarity, and there's gonna be a challenge. The challenge with familiarity versus unfamiliar. There's something that you want to do to continue to feel familiar. You want that familiar feeling. But honestly, that the world and the way it's moving is actually pushing us, and the universe is pushing us into this realm of no, let go of what you think you know. No, let go of what you find familiar and safe. And specifically in the core of you, in your home, in your family. And this is going to be mixed with whatever house you have it in. So for the collective, I just gave a collective analysis, but for an example, I'd say if this is happening in the ninth house, for example, because this is an aspect that I'm familiar with. If this is happening in your ninth house, the full moon at 5 degrees, then you're going to be dealing with that familiarity, but it's going to have an overlay of higher education, higher learning, unconventional learning. This is not textbook things. This is the Sagittarius box up here. This is the things that go with, these are traveling things that you learn outside of sitting in the classroom. This is why the ninth house also deals with traveling, because those are the unconventional ways of learning different cultures and tapping into different people. So if it's in your ninth house, then you'll have that overlay of uncomfortability. Maybe you need to learn something, or maybe you're not listening to the learning aspect of what what is being offered to you, or what is being shown to you. So there's something that you have to do in this case of a ninth house full moon in Leo. There's something you have to learn or educate yourself on, not in a conventional way. It may be something that is higher learning, such as letting go, changing your thought process. That's the most high part of the sky. Things that your mind is affecting you, and you're not changing, and you're getting the same result. If this is, say, let's say the sixth house. So the sixth house, if this is your fifth house, or not fifth house, if it's your Leo house, then it could be habitual. It could be habits that you've been doing over and over and over again that's giving you the same result. All right, so I won't want to stay too much on that. We'll move to the next thing, and we'll go through some of these planets and where they are, and add it all to the mix. And the next one I want to talk about is Mars. Mars is actually in a place where it gives you the energy, generally speaking, because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. That's the best you're gonna get out of Mars when you put him in a Cap, because that environment of Capricorn Mars thrives in. It's like, put me in a cage and I'll make it. Put me anywhere and I'll make it. And put me in the coldest place, which is Capricorn in the northern hemisphere. Put me in the darkest, the most deepest pit, and I'm gonna climb out. Mars likes that challenge. Mars is a warrior. Mars thrives in harder situations, versus if he's in Cancer, where it's like, I don't like the kitchen, bro. I don't want to be in the kitchen. I don't want to be in the house. I'm tired of the house. I'm a warrior. That's the mindset of Mars. So when he's in Capricorn, he's giving you that energy that can take you there. That can take you to the goals that you need to be, taken to, or taking action on. Mars is the sign of action. I mean, Mars is the planet of action. So I would say just take advantage of that. Sitting around right now, probably not the best thing to do. Look, seek, search, be a pioneer, be Mars. and that seeking aspect of what's out there. All right. And then we want to look at I would say my favorite, but one of my jarring, kind of like nervous aspects, because when you put Jupiter and Uranus together, shit can happen fast. And a lot of times we don't want to go through the Saturn way. Saturn get a bad rap for a reason, because as human beings, we would like the easy way, the path of least resistance in most cases. It would be nice if, some money fell out the sky. That is the energy of Jupiter, Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Taurus being that sign of actual fixed earth, which is the densest you can get. It represents money. It represents the physical things that you need to survive, that you need for pleasure, to enjoy your experience here, the five senses. Shout out to my Taurus people. So you're taking two of the planets that don't really like rigidity. They like to flow. So Sag is the rule. Jupiter's the ruler of Sag, which is a fire sign, and it's mutable. It likes to, it's going here. It's fireworks all over the place. It sparks. And you take Uranus, and you put and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, which is ethers, is invisible. It's the technology that we're talking about, that is the remote control that can turn something on without any medium that we can see visually. It's radio waves. So you put all of that in Taurus, it's gonna break up things that we find near and dear. It's gonna test you. It's gonna put you in survival situations, and it's gonna test you and ultimately refine your ability to manifest resources, to understand resources, to see resources in a more etherical, metaphysical way. And based off this energy, I don't think this is going to be a pleasant experience for most people. It's one of those things. It's like, yo, this is the most densest part of you, because that's what it represents, the fixed earth. And it's almost like a forcing of, let that shit go. Jupiter and Uranus are not friends. Matter of fact, Uranus is actually, that's like the least place Uranus likes to be, because of its quickness. Uranus is actually, that's the demigod. That's the Maui. If you watch Moana, I watched Moana with my baby boy. He's the one that turns things, good or bad, very fast. The fire from the gods. That's the Prometheus. That bringing down of godlike energy, that bringing down of technology, we would say, or magic. That's what Uranus is doing. So when we put him into that sign, that of food, of money, then things can get uncomfortable, because we're being tested. Money can go out really quick. Money can come in really quick. So it can be nerve-wracking. And one of the things that I also like about this placement, is I'm actually seeing, on top of crypto and things, the money game changing and being more ethereal, what I'm into is farming and innovative ways of repairing or helping repair the earth, the damage that we've done, which is like desertification. So the earth drying up, and the water and droughts and all of these things are a product of our inability to take care of the earth. And I'm watching people, even farmers on mass scale, change the way that they're farming, so that they can not only produce food, but then use their farming techniques to regenerate the earth. Now we're getting more biodiversity. Now we're actually not having runoff water, and the water is actually staying in the fields. And there's so much that is happening to this regenerative farming, is what I'm talking about. it's expanding. It's happening everywhere. It's not something that's talked about because farming is not the cool thing to talk about. We know a lot of people talk about celebrities and the hype about crypto and all of that, and the importance of real money, the food, the importance of, you know, the things that are really fun to talk about. That's being blasted into a whole nother realm of excitement for me. So a lot of times what people see when they see this innovation of technology when it comes to farming or when it comes to agriculture, they're seeing, oh yeah, we're gonna have greenhouses, and we're gonna have things under lights and things. But I'm actually seeing the technology go into a more organic way, which is nice. So that's something. If you want to follow this topic that I'm talking about, it's regenerative farming. All right. So that is one thing that I'm actually excited. I'm actually seeing Jupiter and Uranus work together in the form of innovation, and these high level farmers that have acres and acres of land are doing it a lot better. So regenerative farming, how we produce food, people are actually waking up a lot to just seeing that nature can then feed us, and we have all the tools that we need. All right. So I didn't want to spend too much time on those two. But I also wanted to jump into the next one, which this is the one that kind of gives me a little bit of nervousness, just because I know the energy, I know where Saturn is in my chart, very difficult place. And then on top of that, we're adding Neptune in there. So we're going to talk about Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, which is almost, once again, these are conflicting energies. Just like the last sign we talked about, Taurus, they have these planets that are conflicting inside of them. Saturn is conflicting with the idea of Pisces and its ruler, Neptune. So Neptune and Saturn are together in Pisces. Neptune wants you to realize your dream. Neptune wants you to flow and create and not organize, but just be you and just put something on the paper. But Saturn being there is actually rigid. It's actually the time. It's the bones, the realistic parent that tells you, nah, I've been through this. I'll let you know how this is gonna go. This is the hard reality. This is the hard truth. And when these come together, the benefit about them is that you get to realize what it's going to take to actually get your dreams to manifest. That is like the main bulk or the main energy behind Saturn and Neptune. So like I said, Neptune is very watery, very flowy, and just having that there, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, was that leap of faith. This is another aspect that's testing you, that is testing your familiarity and then testing your maturity towards what you're learning and your dreams, and not just dreams, but in a like a imaginative state, but actually what you desire, things that are pulling on you that you know you should have, or that you know you should be experiencing. It's literally, whether you like it or not, it's gonna show you, this transit is gonna show you what it's gonna actually take to get to those dreams. And based off the transits, I know a lot of people probably is not enjoying this right now. It doesn't seem like an enjoyable energy unless you are a very good channeler of your energy and how you accept challenges. So that's my take on that. And then we got to get to the elephant in the room, which is Pluto and Aquarius. So before we even get to Pluto, we also got to realize that the moon is conjunct here. Not to the degree, it could be a little bit closer, because Pluto's at 0 degrees Aquarius, and the moon is at 5 degrees Aquarius. I'm sorry. The sun is at, I keep getting the sun and moon mixed up. The sun is at 5 degrees Aquarius, and the moon is at 5 degrees Leo. So this puts the moon at opposition with Pluto. So this, what's happening right now, is ultimately the lesson of the future. So what is happening with the moon and Aquarius, depending on what house it's in, you should actually hit me up for a reading so I can do that for you and see how, you know, it's affecting you personally. But just that opposition with Pluto is deep, and the deepness of it we're going to cover right now when it comes to Pluto and the collective. I wrote collective indifference because Aquarius is about the individual, but at the same time it's about humanitarian ideas. It's about justice through humanity or manipulation of humanity. It deals with everybody. I like to use that movie Ants as a reference, where it's like, for the good of the colony. It's like everybody does this. You're a worker or you're a soldier, and that energy it comes in a lot. But then there's also the Ant Z in the movie. He's like, nah, like, I want to see insectopia. I want to get out of this hole, and I want to go see what's, you know, I've heard these good things. So like that dichotomy is there. We're seeing the whole people wanting rights. People are saying, I exist. I want people to, once again, it's that factor of wanting to be shown, but still wanting to be appreciated and recognized for individual, but still having collective rights, if that makes sense. So there's going to be a cry out for let me be me, but what it's going to do is also create a situation where it's going to put everybody in the box, or in a place where everybody is the ant colony. Everybody is, it's just that you're a human, that's it. And then that's going to create some other things. But the whole point I'm trying to make is the dichotomy of uniqueness and old-fashioned, or what we're used to. Because once again, this is not even about Aquarius, it's more about Leo. But you have to bring in that Aquarius because there's so many things happening in Aquarius, so much energy being pulled from Aquarius. All right, so you need to show your life. Yeah, so like the last thing I actually wrote was just that the need to feel like you need to put yourself out there. There's gonna be a need to feel like, I gotta make a YouTube video, I gotta do this, I have to connect, I have to be on the internet. That just is what it is. That's Aquarius. And I know that I talked a lot more about Aquarius than I did Leo, but once again, it's a beautiful energy that is connected to Leo. And my advice for this transit is to understand who you are when it comes to your goals and what you really desire to your core, and then being realistic with that when it comes to how to manifest it. And realistic can be changing your mind, once again, changing your thought process, which should be the goal either way. But then it may be something that's really practical, like, no, you actually need some money. You actually need to manifest this by working a job, or you actually need to manifest this by, you know, or you need to do both. Like, just be big parent style. Like, I need to tell you that you need to have a job, and you need to get your shit together, and you need to be changing your mindset. You need to make sure you're waking up every day or with a smile on your face or in gratitude. Like, it's the harsh reality. So I'm actually pretty excited to be doing these. Once again, I just wanted to open up and say that I am doing readings, astrology readings. I do synastry readings, which is couples charts, and then I also do individuals, and then I have a Saturn natal reading where we talk about Saturn alone, and I actually take you through the chart and show you, you know, how I'm coming up with the information that I'm coming up with, if you're interested in actually seeing the inside of how astrologers break down what it is they're breaking down. So those are the 3 that I offer right now, and I would love to cover you and your chart. Right now, the price is what it is, but I'm with negotiating as well. So yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and say that, and I hope y'all having a great full moon. DM me, or not DM me, email me, because I'll leave my email if you're interested, and I'll also leave the link to purchasing one of those readings. Y'all have a great day, great full moon. Peace.